he decried exactly what his church should be called. Quote, "For thus shall my church be called in the last days, even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints." Close quote. And if we allowed nicknames to be used or adopt or even sponsor those nicknames ourselves, he is offended.
Travis Wingoodzall. So, for those of you who are brand new, not been following me for a while, YouTube, under orders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, has cyber terrorized me and no longer allow me to watch YouTube when signed in. I'm still able to post videos, but because I'm not able to watch my own videos, I can't trigger their algorithm to get more attention for my videos. And if you're thinking that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is true, and therefore I deserve to be criminalized and victimized by the church as punishment, Joseph Smith's church was Jewish. The Book of Mormon, Jewish. You're either a denialist or you're illiterate if you can't figure that out. All your claims that, well, Jesus is in the Bible, and so because he's in the Book of Mormon, who are the worst enemies of the Jews? So, all of you who are exfo nevermos, you believe Joseph Smith to be the bad guy because he was practicing polygamy. That all of a sudden he changed and became this horrible evil monster. And the majority of people who do leave are for polygamy, and it's mostly women who leave the church learning the claims that Joseph Smith was a polygamist. And so because you didn't bother to study, to fact check these people who claim the claims that were claimed, I just came across a bombshell from the Joseph Smith papers that exposes this church of framing Joseph Smith yet again. I've already been doing the videos telling you that Joseph Smith was framed, that none of the polygamous wives were his polygamous wives. And so we're going to help you do real research. And you're not going to watch because YouTube won't let you watch. So nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to know. Miranda Nancy Johnson Hyde, Orson Hyde's wife, claimed to have been sealed to Joseph Smith in secret on April 1842. I had found in the Joseph Smith papers Revelation, 2nd December 1841. A revelation given December 2nd, 1841. Miranda Nancy Johnson Hyde. Verily thus saith the Lord unto you, my servant Joseph, that inasmuch as you have called upon me to know my will concerning my handmaid, Miranda Nancy Johnson Hyde, and the name is wrong. You'd think God would know the correct name. They put Nancy Miranda Hyde. Does God not know her name? But wait. Behold, it is my will that she should have a better place prepared for her than that in which she now lives, in order that her life may be spared upon her, unto her. Therefore go and say unto my servant Ebenezer Robinson. And they do go and talk about it. And to my handmaid, his wife, let them open their doors and take her and her children into their home, and take care of them faithfully and kindly until my servant Orson Hyde returns from his mission. Okay? Everything seems fine, except the Lord doesn't know names very well. Especially women's names. Ooh, that's very bad. That's why I never call a woman by her name unless I repeat it over and over again upon first contact. And avoid looking very weird in front of her for doing that. Or until some other provision can be made for her. Her welfare and safety. Let them do these things and spare not, and I, the Lord, will bless them and heal them, if they do it not grudgingly, saith the Lord God. And she shall be a blessing unto them. And let my handmaid, wrong name, hearken to the counsel of my servant Joseph, and all things whatsoever he shall teach unto her, and it shall be a blessing upon her and upon her children after her, unto her justification, saith the Lord. 6 lines blank. So who's Ebenezer Robinson? We don't know. But we do know from the Joseph Smith papers information concerning him. He was baptized into the wrong name of the church, so thus it's not Joseph's church. It's this Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 16 October 1835. It's all over the Joseph Smith papers. And so it's not until Brigham starts tampering with a secret combination group, the Danites, which his forged documents got mingled in with Joseph Smith's original documents. And so it's easy to tell who's who by the name of the church. Joseph's church was the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Thomas B. Marsh even has a discourse in the Joseph Smith Papers where he explains the reason why we need to say the right name of the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Thomas B. Marsh was the president of the 12. And then he was, his wife's name is Angela, or Angeline, Eliza Works. They were married 13 December 1835. So they're newlyweds for the most part then, aren't they? This was somewhat new. They endured, they're coming across their 5-year slump, which I know all about too well. But regardless, he was ordained an elder 29 April 1836. And so we can find this out. He would have gotten a license. We can find this out. License for Ebenezer Robinson, 11 May 1836. Oops. This certifies that Ebenezer Robinson has been received into the Church of the Latter-day Saints. See, when Joseph Smith is locked up in Liberty Jail, Brigham Young did a whole bunch. Well, there's some other stuff involved, but there's a whole bunch of licenses given out with the wrong name of the church. And so, see who Ebenezer Robinson is? He's one of Joseph's members. He's not a Danite. And so Orson Hyde's wife is going to stay with one of Joseph's members, not Brigham's members. There is a secret combination religion going on to overthrow Joseph's church. So Orson Hyde's church membership. He originally spoke against the Book of Mormon, as he was a part of Sidney Rigdon's ministry. That's what it says, Wikipedia. Is the church lying about this? Yeah, there's some lies in here, that's for sure. But they got it right. Sidney Rigdon, however, when his former minister, Sidney Rigdon, joined the Church of Christ, what church is that? Hyde investigated the claims of the missionaries and was baptized by Rigdon. So at first, when Parley P. Pratt brought the Book of Mormon, he was resistant. But then Sidney Rigdon joined, and so he said, oh, well, maybe I should do some more study on this rather than just getting the wrong feeling. That's all Mormons have to do. That's all they have to do is study. And so he was baptized in October 1831 by Rigdon. And so, it was almost a year later after Rigdon joined. Rigdon and Smith ordained him an elder later that month. Oliver Cowdery ordained him a high priest, 26th of October. Hyde was serving a mission with Hiram and Samuel Smith and John Gould. So more than 2 by 2, huh? Notice Brigham's missionaries, especially Brigham and Heber, went out 1 by 1. They violated Joseph Smith's rules to go 2 by 2. Let's see, his first mission was extended, so let's skip down. Hyde was present for the founding of the School of the Prophets in 1833, marched with Zion's camp in 1834, ordained an apostle with the formation February 15th, 1835, as one of the original Quorum of the 12. Okay? This was the 12 traveling High Council, not the standing High Council. Again, if you're just going to trust that whatever was going on now was the same back then you've forgotten about the 70 that used to be in the stakes. Are you really that young? I remember my dad was a member of the 70 until it was split, and then he was bumped up to a high priest after its dissolving, plus other administrative changes since Brigham Young's coup and takeover. And so David Whitmer, Oliver Cowdery, Martin Harris ordained him into the Quorum of the 12. Then he was assigned on a mission with Heber C. Kimball, the enemy. And if you have no clue how he's the enemy, did you never go to his journal or his Wikipedia page under Masonry? Every single word is a lie. You can only know that by study. You can't get the right or wrong feeling on that. To Great Britain in 1837. Returning home in 1838. What happened in 1838? This is where he gets compromised to be framed by Brigham. He left the church October 19th, 1838 with Thomas B. Marsh, president of the 12. Signing the affidavit saying that he was told that Joseph Smith told them that Joseph Smith is now the leader of the Danites, that the church's name has been changed, they're now Christian instead of Jewish, and the whole long list, which I put in the box back there. Practicing polygamy, murdering Mormons who are not loyal to him, to overthrow the government, etc., etc., etc. Well, look at that, they even say Danites. The reason they provided included their contention that the Mormons had organized into a company known as the Danites, who have taken an oath to support the heads of the church. Yeah, you can see it in the Joseph Smith papers with the wrong name of the church, still using Joseph as saying such and such. So, 1838 war, Crooked River. Let's see. He was disfellowshipped, removed from membership in 1835. He left. Oh my God. They left. They didn't get punished by the church and then leave. Who wrote this? Dumbass Mormon. On May 4th, 1839. Because remember, Mormons get their stories wrong. They're contradictory. So Ebenezer Robinson, April 26th? Nope, May 11th. It's a purposeful, deceitful tactic to cause confusion and divert you away from the truth. You know, like Bruce R. McConkie in the chapter heading of section 10, putting 1828 instead of the correct 1829. On May 4th, 1839, he was removed from the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. He left. The leadership of the church invited Hyde and William Smith, the brother of Joseph Smith, to explain their actions? Really? While Joseph Smith is in Liberty Jail, who are they explaining it to? And so, after Joseph Smith is out of Liberty Jail, on June 27th, Hyde returned to the church and publicly explained himself, recanting his affidavit and asking to be restored. You know, like Avraham Gileadi. He was admitted back into the quorum on 27th of June, 1839, in Nauvoo, Illinois. Anybody know what happened the year before Brigham Young died? Brigham Young, knowing he's about to die, would go on and change the order of the 12 because he doesn't want Orson Hyde to take over the church. All because Orson Hyde does not believe the Joseph doctrine secretly told the Brigham that Adam is Heavenly Father. So we can't have that doctrine reversed. And so he used that to claim, well, you weren't put into the 12 until the 27th of June, 1839. And so you have to go back in rank with the other people we put in to replace you. And so John Taylor becomes the successor of Brigham Young. Okay? And so then we go down to family life. He married Miranda Nancy Johnson, not Nancy Miranda, in Kirtland, Ohio, September 4th, 1834. And so here they're lying to us. They don't even have a little reference thing here. Joseph Smith was sealed to Miranda as a plural wife, either, really, no document, in April 1822 or May 1843. See, there's some contradictions going on here. May 1843 is... Well, let me explain it in this book. Okay. Miranda is the one who claims May 1843. Pay attention. Miranda signed an affidavit. Why? Isn't there a document of their sealing in Polygamy to Joseph? Why does she need to sign an affidavit? Who's telling her to sign an affidavit? That it was to Joseph in May 1843. We now turn to Doctrine and Covenants, section 132 that suddenly appeared the year before Brigham Young died and published his final Doctrine and Covenants edition. And it's on polygamy, July 12th, 1843. Wait a minute. Oopsies. Miranda. In May? So Joseph was secretly polygamously getting married to all these women before he gave the revelation. So he's a sexual deviant and then decides, you know what, I think it's God who's telling me to do this. In case you didn't know, Brigham Young in 1852 finally came out and ordered all Mormons to practice polygamy. Wait a minute, he was already polygamously married? Or Zenaide was already polygamously married to 2 wives? Right after, supposedly, in the April one. See, now the April 1842 claim is from an author. Actually, it says the Joseph Smith Papers here. Yeah, and they're claiming the journal, which is obviously a forged document, because it contradicts everything. And so, yeah, if you got to get the stories right if you're going to commit a crime in sacred. So, yeah, he may have given his consent. John D. Lee is involved here too. Who's John D. Lee? Can we trust him? Is his character worthy of loyalty and honor and integrity? John D. Lee. Where do we know this name from? He's the 3rd great grandfather of Senator Mike Lee from Utah. Oh wait, there was that Mountain Meadows massacre. Interesting. Only he got punished, not Brigham. And wouldn't you know it, he was also involved in the war in 1838. He was there at the tampering of the election. Amazing. And so he published a book, Mormonism Unveiled. Oh, I wonder where we heard that title before, concerning the Book of Mormon from the Solomon Spaulding manuscript that Sidney Rigdon had in his possession. Yeah. I would go on to find out that William Morgan's posthumous baptism by proxy for the baptisms of the dead was by the Danites. So again, Heber C. Kimball, what is he talking about in his lies? He's talking about knowing of the plot, as he is the plot. He was the reason why the Book of Mormon and the church got started in the first place on 9/11/1826 in Canandaigua, New York, where Joseph Smith Sr. was the master mason of the lodge. And so, Mormonism Unveiled was exposing that Joseph Smith Sr. saved America, but he can't reveal it because the enemy wants him dead. But Heber C. Kimball found out and joined the church, had Mormonism Unveiled, as well as William Morgan's published book. It was published after all, even though it was 116 pages. No, it was a different book. I've been 3.8K videos that I've been shut off from. that you have been shut off from. And so, yeah, all of this. The Danites were secretly encoding that they knew and let other people in on it who were in the know. The secret words, secret signs. The whole city of Nauvoo was founded by the Danites who had to flee Missouri. And this time they incorporated the city. They tried to incorporate the church with the wrong name. I have not found that it succeeded. Brigham Young had to incorporate the church here in this valley in 1852, after the incorporation of the Perpetual Immigration Fund, i.e., sex and human trafficking immigration fund. And so they're claiming that 3 months after his return from his mission, he then was told about polygamy and got married to 2 wives. They don't tell us who married him. They don't tell us who the women are. They don't tell us the dates. It's just a claim put in here. And so he would go on to take 8 wives and fathering 32 children, with 13 as the footnote, to Lynn M. Hilton, along with Hope A. Hilton. Orson Hyde, Utah History Encyclopedia. It was just recently published. 6 September 2023, retrieved 14 May 2024. Oh dear God. When you're doing research and you're putting references, you're supposed to use the oldest source reference, not the newest, the oldest. And unless you can establish that the older one is wrong, thus you put a newer one that is correct. But otherwise, it's just, dear God, do these people not learn this in school? Orson divorced his wife in 1870. A lot of divorces going on in those polygamous marriages. Just ask Brigham. He got locked up for it the day or the year before. He would then come out with Section 132, where Joseph orders the murder of Emma. You've got to study the Joseph Smith papers. Emma's letters make it very clear she knows nothing about polygamy. 1838, that handmaid girl? Nope, she knew nothing of it. She didn't believe it. If she did know, and she doesn't seem to know. Joseph and her letters back and forth are very loving, very tender. And yet, the majority of Mormons who have left the church are mostly women, and because they believe the lies that Joseph Smith was a polygamist. You never bothered to study. You never bothered to fact check anybody. It's this church that is wrong. This church has lied to you. And so now this church has destroyed me. And they're about to destroy you. That's all I've done, was warn you, to tell you the truth, so that you would learn how to learn and not be deceived by these lies from the church. It's just sick and wrong. If you've been following me for last month or so, I've been escalating more on warning you about the dangers of psychology, especially with the church's family services here in Utah. So did anybody follow the church news? No, you don't know what they did, huh? It was just last night. Oh, Sister Missionary had to be drugged to conform and comply to the covenant path to go on a mission. Talk to Mackenzie about that. She's got a YouTube channel criticizing the church and thinking Joseph Smith was a polygamist rapist. She too was sexually assaulted by a married priesthood holder when she was 15. The priesthood leaders covered it up, so when she turned 23, she wanted to go on a mission. So in the bishop's interview, is there anything in your past that has not been resolved by the proper priesthood authority? Well, I was sexually assaulted by a married priesthood holder back when I was 15. Everybody tried to cover it up. Ooh, call the hotline, Batman. Oh, send her to family services? Okay. You're depressed. Here's some drugs. Bishop, she's not getting rid of this thinking process. She's not adhering to the covenant path. We do not think she should go on a mission. She still believes to this day that she is actually depressed and that she left the church learning about Joseph and his evils. Who's evil? Don't take your eye off the ball by your spiritual witness feelings. Study. Learn the truth. The church is going to destroy you. The church wants their kingdom back, just like they kept doing over and over again. They tried first with Adam-on-Diamond, then after the war, they had to settle somewhere else, flee the country, flee the county, the state, founded Nauvoo, had a militia as their military force now, rather than a mob of Danites. And then they were creating their own religion. The beginnings of this church's doctrines began in Nauvoo without Joseph. They claimed to have held conferences with Joseph. They had claimed that prophecies of Joseph were being given. All of it was saying, Joseph said this, Joseph said that, and they were publishing it for those outside of Nauvoo, making everybody believe that this was what was going on in Nauvoo. None of it was true. And you can tell by the wrong name of the church.